Good evening, Yorktown. My name is Supervisor Matt Slater. Today is Thursday, March 19th, providing our daily update pertaining to COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus. I'm joined with me today with our Parks and Rec Superintendent, James Moderano. Really appreciate you being here, Jim. He's done a fantastic job, both he and his staff, for 2020, and he's going to provide some updates as it pertains to our town park shortly. We're going to start with the basics, things that we've talked about plenty of times before, but as a reminder, the New York State hotline is 888-364-3065. Again, that's 888-364-3065. The New York State Division of Consumer Protection for price gouging. If you do see any price gouging, like Chief Noble always says, help us help you. The New York State Division of Consumer Protection Helpline, 1-800-697-1220, 1-800-697-1220, and that again is to report any potential price gouging that may be occurring during this challenging time. I want to jump right into Yorktown and talk specifically about Yorktown up front today. Right now, to make sure everyone understands, there is a systematic delay in providing real-time statistics. And I've pledged to you, the public, that I would provide you verified and accurate information as it became available. Last night, I did not provide the statistics that we had pertaining specifically to Yorktown because I was hoping to get updated numbers. And by the way, I want to thank County Executive Latimer and his team, as well as the governor, for facilitating the information sharing between our town and their departments as well. But again, there is a delay. So these numbers that I will provide are as of Tuesday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So as of Tuesday, there are 5 confirmed cases in the town of Yorktown. Because that is not the real-time number, because that is as of Tuesday, and I'm going to go through some of the numbers with you folks today about testing and the increased number of testing, which is really helpful. I do expect that number, the real-time number, to be greater. Again, a lot of that has to do with the testing. We have 5 people, and the interesting thing about that is they are in 3 homes, 2, and 1. And it's a small sample, and I fully recognize and acknowledge that, but I think it echoes what we've been saying. And that is, the parameters we're putting in place are meant to protect you, and they're meant to protect your family. Should this come into your house, should someone bring it into your house, chances are, from what we are seeing, and I think the statistics support this across the state, there's a very high likelihood that many in your home will become infected. So again, the parameters we're putting into place are meant to protect that. Just a personal story to share. From my standpoint, I was raised in this town. And I was raised by my mom and my grandmother. They still live in the house that they raised me in. And frankly, my grandmother is not talking to me right now because I told them I wasn't comfortable coming over. And it's not because I don't want to see her, but she's in her 80s. She might not want to admit it. Now she's not going to talk to me for a few more weeks, but she's in her 80s. And so out of an abundance of caution, and frankly out of an abundance of love, I am not comfortable going into their house. And again, if you see the statistics, we have 5 people in 3 homes, 2, and 1. It's for that exact reason. I am doing this out of, again, an abundance of caution for my grandmother, and I think that it should be echoed throughout the community, because when we talk about the parameters that are in place, when we talk about the need to go outside, when we tell you, please stay home, it's because we're trying to minimize the risk to our most vulnerable population. Earlier today, I did extend, because they do expire, I extended all of the local emergency orders that we put into place for the town. I did that in consultation with the governor's office, because he did sign an executive order limiting executive orders or emergency orders by municipalities and political subdivisions. And so we did that in consultation with the governor's office. They did approve these orders, and I'm just going to run through them very quickly as a reminder for all of you. The first has to do with property owners, folks who have more than 6 dwelling units, all homeowners associations within the town of Yorktown, and all condominium and co-op boards within the town shall provide us with reliable emergency contact. And you can read this all online. It's all on the website. I want to thank those. We had very many participants in this, which was great. And because fact of the matter is, when we first started and having to deal with this, we realized, should there be, at that point in time, and this was last week, should there be a need to get in touch with someone who manages one of these apartments, we did not believe we had the sufficient information. Now I believe we do, and that's because of this order, but it does remain in effect as well. We will continue to suspend door-to-door solicitation, so no individual can be walking around the town of Yorktown selling, this is for selling items door-to-door. That has been suspended. All entities that provide home health aid services with the town of Yorktown shall continue to ensure that their home health aides are screened for warning signs of COVID-19 and cleared before beginning any new assignment in the town of Yorktown. Our town-owned buildings remain restricted to public access. The exceptions for there are the Justice Court and the Police Department. The Yorktown Police Department will allow up to 2 individuals at any point in time in their lobby, just 2 individuals. And for the Yorktown Justice Court, no more than 1 party at any time may occupy the lobby. Our drop box remains outside of Town Hall. If you do have any documentation that needs to be turned into any of our departments, you can utilize the drop box that's right on the front stoop. That is checked daily, more than daily, quite frankly. Our staff has done a fantastic job with that. Town employees continue to work remotely. Those who have been identified by their department heads, we are having them work remotely, and that is in conjunction with Governor Cuomo's directive to reduce our workforce by 50%. I made an announcement last night pertaining to our bulk pickup. We are modifying the bulk pickup schedule because we have been understaffed, and I know that some folks have said that their bulk trash was not picked up as originally thought. And again, patience and understanding, please. They will get to it. They are continuing to pick up the bulk trash. And I believe we posted the modified times, which I don't have in front of me, but I believe we posted the modified times for the other bulk pickups on our website, which I encourage everyone to visit as we continue to post information there. Our childcare facilities, daycare facilities that remain open, the state has not mandated that they close, and we've talked about this a few times as well. And the reason for that is because the state, and I frankly believe as well, and I agree with the governor, that our frontline individuals do need daycare. And so there are daycare centers that remain open. If they close, that is on their own fruition. But for those who remain open in the town, they must establish a staggered pickup and drop-off time in a fashion designed to reduce crowding in entrances and hallways by at least 50%. Jim is going to talk about this behind me. Jim is our Parks and Rec superintendent, as I introduced earlier. But all town-owned active recreation areas remain closed to the public. That includes playgrounds, ball fields, swimming pools, which we look forward to opening shortly as the season breaks. But again, playgrounds, ball fields, all of our sports complexes still remain closed. All of our passive recreation areas, our trailways, our preserves, Turkey Mountain remain open, and Jim's going to have some more information and details on that shortly. FDR Park remains open. That is a state-run facility. The governor is making sure all state parks remain open, and we welcome everyone to utilize FDR Park. I'll talk about FDR Park more momentarily. All supermarkets and grocery stores, convenience stores, and warehouse clubs, for example, BJ's, shall forthwith establish meaningful daily shopping times that are reserved for senior citizens and individuals with respiratory ailments and compromised immunities. For those who don't know, and this was only made possible by our team. because this is a team effort here. Because of our team, many of the grocery stores and warehouse clubs like BJ's not only are adhering to this, but they are adopting it in all of their stores, either regionally or nationwide. And that's what Yorktown does best. We lead from the front. And so that is the local emergency orders which remain in effect. Again, I want to provide specific information regarding the senior shopping times for seniors and those with compromised immunities. BJ's is open from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The Chico's in Jefferson Valley is open from 7:30 to 8:30. Acme is open from 7 to 9. Uncle Giuseppe's is open from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now, these, again, are all for seniors and individuals with compromised immunities. As a reminder, as one of the directives from the governor that was handed down yesterday and going into effect today, JV lanes will be closed after today at 8 o'clock. The JV Mall will be closed after today at 8 o'clock. I do want to note that Dick's Sporting Goods will continue to operate because they have their own entrance and exit, and they will be providing curbside pickup for anyone in need of sporting goods at this time. So Dick's Sporting Goods does remain open because they have their own entrance and exit, and the mall itself is closed after tonight. I had a few questions regarding, and I wanted to get back to FDR Park. The Yorktown News covered the story today. Jim was with me earlier with Chief Noble. We went up to FDR Park, where when you're walking around, you hit parking lot 3, you're going to see tents. Those tents are not mobile testing sites. Those tents are for Con Edison. Con Edison, as part of their social distancing protocol, have established multiple sites in Westchester County, including Rye Playland and FDR Park. So their employees are meeting directly at that site they're assigned. For instance, FDR Park, those tents are briefing tents. That's where they get their assignments. If you go there right now, I believe you'd see a fleet of trucks from Con Ed, and they are dispersed to their assignments from that point, and then they return. So around 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, you're going to see some activity over there. It's nothing to be alarmed about. It's also nothing to be alarmed about for our power. This is not any kind of preparation for anticipated power loss at all. In fact, the governor, as stated earlier today, did issue an executive order that prohibited our utilities from being shut down. So this is nothing to do with storm preparation or power outage preparation, everything to do with Con Edison instituting their own social distancing policies. I had a few questions today about our taxes, because tax bills are going to be coming out. This is specifically in regards to the town of Yorktown. We are earnestly lobbying for an extension. Now, I've been on conference call after conference call with my fellow supervisors and mayors and officials in local government. We've been on conference calls with the county executive directly. We have shared our desire to institute an extension, and that authorization comes from the state of New York. And so we will continue to lobby our partners in government for that extension. We recognize the importance of it. We recognize, frankly, the economic turmoil this is causing, both for Main Street and beyond. And so we are doing all we can to be good and faithful neighbors and recognize the situation that we are in, and we are trying our best to get the proper authorization from New York State to provide that extension. The federal government is mobilizing. For those who have not seen either yesterday or today's news, the President did sign the Defense Production Act, and that really is because there's global concerns over hospital beds and supplies. There's truly a hospital bed shortage and a supply shortage for our medical personnel and our frontliners. And so the hope and the goal through the Defense Production Act is to have private industry create the needed and necessary equipment to be instituted. Earlier today, Governor Cuomo provided some additional information that I'm happy to share. Not happy to share, because frankly I'm not thrilled with the numbers, but it's math at this point. 4,152 cases are now in the state of New York. That is an increase of 1,769 from yesterday. So again, when we go back to Yorktown's numbers, 5 individuals, 3 houses, you see the correlation. As we test more, we get more. And so my expectation is the number in Yorktown to continue, frankly, to rise as more testing is made available. There were 798 cases. We are now at 798 cases in Westchester. That is an increase of 260 from yesterday. In regards to testing, and I just want to put this into perspective, 22,000 tests have been given statewide. Yesterday, 7,500 tests were given statewide. And in perspective again, when we started this entire operation, when the state of New York started this entire operation, we were only performing 200 tests a day. And now we're at 7,500, and that number is expected to grow. So again, understand the correlation. We test more, we get more positives. That is expected at this point in time. And so other numbers that the governor shared, hospitalization rate is still at 19%. We talk about the 80-20 split very much here. 19% hospitalization rate. I mentioned about the bed discrepancy. We have a significant bed discrepancy. I believe the number that we have is 55,000 beds statewide. Expected need is about 110,000. And the ICU bed shortage actually is greater in disparity in regards to that shortage as well. That's why we have USNS Comfort is being deployed by the federal government. That is a hospital ship that's going to be in New York Harbor. It's expected to be here in April. And again, if you look from a supply standpoint, our ventilators, as the governor made known today, ventilators, we have 5,000 ventilators statewide, and this is a key piece of a key instrument in our ability to help those in need. 5,000 statewide, and we expect 30,000 in need. And this is a global crisis to get this technology and equipment to our frontliners, which the state and the federal government is working hand in hand with. A few other announcements from the governor that was made today. And I do see some comments coming across Facebook. Again, for those just tuning in, for Yorktown, it's 5 individuals and 3 houses. So we have three houses, 3 families. It's 2, 2, and 1. And again, that is as of Tuesday. I expect that number to be higher. I expect the real number, the number that we're talking about today, to be higher, but there is a systematic delay in the information that is being sent down from the state to the county to us, and that's still being worked on. And so the information that I have, that the town government has right now, is 5 confirmed cases for the town of Yorktown in 3 households. So again, when you think and we're going to talk about this, I think, Jim, shortly. When we talk about the things we're doing in town, when we're talking about the parameters we're putting in place and the restrictions we're putting in place, and I've said this before, it's not so much about enforcement, but it's a mindset. We are telling you, we are pleading with you, do not go outside unless you have to. And I know that tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day, and everyone's going to want to be outside and having a great old time and welcome spring in full force. I get it. I get it. But think about our vulnerable neighbors. Think about our seniors. Think about those people who, yeah, it might be a great day tomorrow, but you don't know who you're coming into contact with. And so if you go enjoy tomorrow in the sunshine, and I get it, it's coming, you might be posing a serious risk to someone you love. And the consequences to that, I can't fathom that. And so we are pleading with you to please stay inside. The governor provided more information as well and directive. He announced a 90-day mortgage relief for New Yorkers. And I know that there are individuals in the business who will tell you that unless you get a notification from your mortgage holder, you should continue to pay that mortgage, but the governor is providing a 90-day mortgage relief. We are still getting information and clarity on this. It includes waived mortgage payments based on financial hardship and no negative reporting to credit bureaus, waived fees. He also waived fees for overdrafts, ATMs, and credit cards. In addition to that, the in-office workforce. Now, this is also important because we talk about perspective and parameters, right? The in-office workforce yesterday was reduced to 50%. Today, the governor reduced it to 75%. And for good reason, because we continue to see the spike in confirmed cases, in hospitalizations, and in deaths. It's continuing to grow. And so as that number continues to rise, there's more restrictions that the governor continues to put forward. And so we are now at a point where there is an in-office workforce reduction by 75%. So those are the highlights of the information from today. I'm going to ask our Park Superintendent, Jim Moderano, to take the podium and provide some information and good guidance for all of you to safely, if you choose, to safely enjoy some of our passive parks that remain open. Jim?
Thank you, Matt. So this past Tuesday, we officially closed all of our parks, our active parks. And it's really one of the hardest things I ever had to do. It's truly the opposite of what we do as a profession. We want you to be able to go out there and have as much fun as possible. But the first thing that we look at when looking at any park is safety. So making this hard decision was based on safety of the individuals living in this town, which Matt alluded to. So please, stay at home, use our passive recreation parks, which I'll highlight in a moment. If you are at one of our parks, you are technically trespassing, okay? Be aware of that. And also, if you do vandalize, which we had a couple cases of vandalization, there's cameras at the parks, and we will report that to PD, and they will handle that accordingly. So there's many hiking trails. If you go to yorktowntrailtown.com, you'll see over 20 different trails in the town of Yorktown that you can take full advantage of, and we urge you to do so. There's 5 parks that I really wanted to highlight that has adequate parking for you. The first park is FDR Park, located at 2957 Crampon Road. State Park, plenty of space, plenty of places to park, so please enjoy FDR Park. Hilltop Hanover Farm and Environmental Center, located at 1271 Hanover Street. There's parking across the street from the barn there, so please utilize that. And the trailhead is also located where the parking is across the street from the barn. The third park that I want to highlight is T-Town and Kitchewan Trail at 1600 Spring Valley Road. Ossining address, actually, but technically it's in the town limits of Yorktown. Sylvan Glen, thank you, Matt, at 2859 Grant Avenue, Mohegan Lake. And the last park I want to highlight is North County Trailway, which has a few different access points, one of which being right here in Yorktown at Town Hall, another one being further south by 118 at 284 Sawmill River Road. And you can find all these addresses on our Facebook page at Yorktown Parks and Rec. If you go on Facebook, please take a look at that. That has just been posted. If you notice that the parking is completely full at any one of the trails at Yorktown Trailway, trailtown.com, please turn around and find another trail to go on. We don't want you parking in the street, creating traffic, and making an unsafe environment. There's plenty of trails, like I said, over 20 trails here in Yorktown. So please find a trail that has adequate parking for you. And also, I urge you to leave the trails cleaner than you found them. If you see litter, try and pick it up as you hike, or don't leave litter at all when you do hike. We take pride in keeping these trails clean for the public and would love to remain to do so. I had many questions regarding also registration. We're looking to get the online system going by the latest May 1st, hopefully by mid-April. will be able to allow you to register for our programs online. We had a lot of questions regarding camp. So at this time, the travel camp lottery is on as scheduled. The lottery will end on March 26th, and registration will be open until April 10th. Camp registration for normal day camp will begin on Tuesday, March 24th, and will remain open to May 22nd. We are going to cancel all late fees. If you sign up after May 11th, you will no longer be charged with a late fee. That has been waived. We also have to cancel, unfortunately, our March 24th night camp sign-up due to, obviously, our buildings being closed. We have to cancel that sign-up. So please, if you are going to register for camp, you can fill out the form which you find on our Facebook page and or on the town website. Fill out that back page, put it in a sealed envelope, and drop it off at any one of our drop boxes at either Town Hall or at the rec office located at 176 Granite Springs Road. If you have any further questions regarding any of this, please call us at our office at 914-245-4650, and we'll answer any questions that you may have. Or you can email me directly at jmartirano@yorktownny.org. Please be safe out there. Use the passive recreation as much as you can, and stay off our fields. Just for the time being, we'll get them back open, and they'll look just as beautiful as we left them. Please be safe. Your safety is our top priority. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. So again, I think Jim did a great job of providing an outlet. We all need it. I need it. I was on the North County Trailway this afternoon, getting a jog in. My 4-year-old cannot wait to go for a hike, and I recognize that. I recognize the stress this is putting on our families, and so what we're trying to do is provide a safe way for you and your families to get outside and enjoy the fresh air. There's nothing wrong with it, but again, dose of common sense. Let's make sure that the way we're doing it is not posing a risk to our vulnerable neighbors. I did get a couple of questions about the Yorktown Track over by Veterans Field. The track does remain closed. Again, it's not the track. And Jim, we talked about this. It's the field, it's the workout equipment, and it's the playground. And we cannot adequately ensure proper safety and public health of the folks who utilize those facilities. And you can't close one without closing the rest. And so technically the track is in fact closed, and I understand that folks are not necessarily pleased about it, but there are a number of other areas for you to walk, especially in the Heights Hamlet, and Jim just laid out a number of areas for you to use our passive parklands as well. So to highlight again, from Governor Cuomo in office, workforce reduction by 75%. Our local emergency ordinances, such as our parks, remain in effect. For our seniors or our caregivers who are trying to help some of our seniors, tomorrow BJ's will be open from 8 to 9, DeChico's from 7:30 to 8:30, Acme 7 to 9, Uncle Giuseppe's from 7 to 8. As I said before, as of Tuesday, this is the best information that I have. As of Tuesday, there are 5 individuals who tested positive for COVID-19 in the town of Yorktown. Those 5 individuals are in 3 houses, 2 and 1, 2 individuals in one house, 2 individuals in a second house, and then the 5th and the 3rd. And I just want to emphasize one more time and end with this. And Governor Cuomo, I thought, nailed it today when he talked about what misinformation causes in a situation like this. Misinformation in a situation that we're in right now, it causes fear. And fear, in turn, causes panic. That is exactly what we are trying our best to avoid. I have committed and I have continued to deliver verifiable and accurate information to you, the public. People have called me, they've emailed me, and I continue to do so. I urge you to do so if you have any questions, if you have any concerns. I get right back to you as fast as I can. My phone number is 914-962-5722, extension 200. 914-962-5722, extension 200. My email address, and I love the notes I get right after I end my briefing here. My email address is mslater@yorktownny.org. mslater@yorktownny.org. And I did forget one thing that I just wanted to make folks aware of. You know, the economic impact this is having has yet to be really recognized in a lot of different ways. And so I wanted to provide some information from the Small Business Administration on Friday, March 20th at 2:30. This Friday, March 20th, 2:30, the SBA will be holding a briefing with SBA Administrator Carranza on COVID-19's economic impacts and the SBA's targeted relief efforts for the nation's small businesses. There's a link. We're going to put this on the town's website for all of our small business owners, all of our Main Street owners. I urge you and encourage you to participate in this briefing as a way for the federal government to help support and stabilize our businesses. In addition, I wanted to also provide the following. Small businesses, small agricultural cooperatives, and most private not-for-profits in all Mid-Hudson counties are now eligible to apply for SBA economic injury disaster loans. This applies to all 7 Mid-Hudson counties: Dutchess, Orange, Putnam, Rockland, Sullivan, Ulster, and here in Westchester. The SBA can provide up to $2 million to help meet financial obligations and operating expenses that could have been met had the disaster not occurred. And I understand it's a loan, but we're going to also provide the information on our website, yorktownny.org. We have a specific page dedicated to COVID-19 updates. And with that being said, I want to wish everyone a pleasant evening. Again, I know it's a very troubling and stressful situation that we are in. And I've said this so many times, but Yorktown leads from the front. And I know that we as a community have overcome adversity in the past, and we as a community are going to overcome the adversity that we are being faced with right now. And the only way we can do that is by supporting each other, by being more compassionate, being more understanding, being more sensitive, and being true Yorktowners. And so I ask for your help, I ask for your support, I ask for your recognition and support of your neighbors, especially those in need, especially our seniors, especially those with compromised immunities. We're all in this together, we're all going to get out of it together, and I will continue to provide these briefings as information is verified and accurate to you, the public. So again, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Have a good night.